I have another What I Ate in a Day video. This time it's back to basics with the starch solution, so stick around. Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chew on Vegan, and welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm a plant-based RN and I follow the starch solution. The starch solution is a program that was developed by Dr. John McDougall, and on his program I was able to lose those last 15 pounds. If you'd like more information about the starch solution and Dr. McDougall, I will leave a link to his book in the description box below. On my channel, you will find whole food plant-based recipes that are also gluten-free. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video, which is every Tuesday and Saturday. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Chew on Vegan. If you're new to this way of eating or just curious, or maybe you just feel like you need some more support, I started a Facebook group. We're a pretty active group, and there you will find recipes, inspiration, and support. I will leave a link to the Facebook group in the description box below, and I hope you join. And if you're still not convinced that a plant-based diet is right for you, I have this quick little e-guide that kind of outlines why a plant-based diet is good for you, and I will leave a link to that in the description box below. So today will be another What I Ate in a Day, and I'm going to be using the Back to Basics 50-50 plate, starch solution, low calorie density. All that will encompass these recipes today. They're going to be very easy. They're going to be normal ingredients that you probably already have on hand. The full recipes and ingredients will be in the description box below. So let's get started. So for breakfast, I'm going to be making some hash browns. I've got about 3 cups of frozen hash browns. I always use this Trader Joe brand because it's just potatoes. I've got about a cup of riced cauliflower, this is the frozen, and about a cup of frozen mixed peppers, yellow, green, red. This will all just go in a bowl. Now seasonings are pretty much up to you. I always use garlic powder, onion powder, and smoked paprika. I don't really measure this. You could add cumin in here if you wanted to. Just up to you. You could add some chili powder if you maybe wanted it a little bit spicier. You could add salt. I'm not adding salt to this today. And then we're just going to give a good stir. Okay, let's head over to the stove and cook these up. So I've got my Always pan, which is a really good nonstick pan, which is key when you're making hash browns with no oil. And you want to make sure that the pan is nice and hot. I just started on a medium-high heat and let it heat until water beads up on it, like that. We're just going to add this whole mixture that I have in this bowl to the pan. And you definitely want to hear that sizzle. And then I smooth it out into a nice layer. And then I smush it down. Okay? Then I'm going to let this cook until the edges start getting brown. And it'll be about 5 or 6 minutes, so you just want to leave it, don't touch it. And I'm going to cover it. And then we'll come back and check it. I set my timer for 5 minutes, and then I come back and check, and then I'll see if it needs to go longer. So I checked it at 5 minutes and it still wasn't quite browning enough, so I put it on for another couple minutes, and you can see they're getting brown. Now, I don't try to flip this all in one thing, so I just kind of do it in quarters, and it kind of ends up just being more stirred. I do it in like little sections, and you can see it doesn't stick. It's getting brown. And then we'll just cook this other side for, 4 or 5 minutes, and then we'll be ready to serve. So as you can see, I'm pairing it with a side of green beans and broccoli. I always have veggies steamed ready to go in the fridge. And just to show you, I used almost that whole pan. And I'm just gonna put a little nutritional yeast on my veggies and some of my Date Lady barbecue sauce. I'll put a little on my veggies too. And that is it. And this is probably maybe 500 calories if you're counting calories. But a nice 50-50 plate. This is super filling. If I did want seconds, I've got a little bit of potatoes left over, but I think I'll just put those in a container and save those for another day. So that's our breakfast for today. So for lunch, I'm going to use some leftover pasta. I've got about 1.5 cups of red lentil pasta that's already cooked. I've got about, I don't know, 1 cup of my cheese sauce left over. I'm going to use that up. I've got some cherry tomatoes, some artichoke hearts. I've got a few, like 4 olives that I sliced up. I'm going to use a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of red pepper flakes. I'm going to add some more nutritional yeast. And then I'm going to add a couple of big handfuls of arugula. This will be mixing our 50-50 plate all together instead of having it separate. We're going to just mix it all together, which is kind of what I did at breakfast too, now that I think about it, but I did have a side of veggies. So again, I'm using my always pan. We're going to add all this cheese sauce into the pan. Now I'm going to add a little plant milk just to thin it out a bit. Stir that around. And I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. Just want this on low till we get everything going. And this is what I like to do when I just have a little bit of my cheese sauce left. And it just makes a real easy pasta dish. So let's put our pasta in. And we're just gonna let this cook till the pasta gets heated through. Okay, once this is heated up a little bit, then I'm going to add everything else. And just a little bit of smoked paprika. Just sprinkle a little bit over the top. A little bit of red pepper flakes, optional. Then we're just gonna let this all cook together for a few minutes. I'm gonna put the lid on, and then we'll add our arugula. Okay, let's add our arugula. A couple of handfuls, and then just stir that in. And then we're just gonna let that wilt down. I'm just gonna put the heat on low and cover it and let this wilt down probably for 2-3 minutes. And if you don't care for arugula, you could use spinach, would work just fine, kale, any kind of green really. So I let this go for about 3 minutes, and that's exactly how I like it. That's perfect. Then I just like to sprinkle a little fresh arugula on top. And that's it. That is your lunch. It's a big plate of food. You've got a lot of veggies in there and a lot of fiber. And you can change up the veggies however you want. If you wanted to add broccoli to this, you can change up the vegetables, of course, and do what you like best. So for snacks lately, I've been loving fruit. I've got an envy apple here, which I love my envy apples. I've got some black grapes, some blueberries, and I've been loving these thin stacker rice cakes. These are red rice and quinoa, gluten-free, organic. They're Lundberg brand, really good. And if you wanted to put something on them, you could, maybe some jelly or something, but I just like to eat them plain with my fruit. So just some ideas for some snacks. Fruit's a really good way to go for snacks. And then if you want to have a little bit of something starchy, then go with the rice cake. Another easy dinner that I like to do, and it's totally back to basics, is I just look in the fridge and see what needs to be used up. I have this half of zucchini. I've got a couple of Yukon Gold potatoes. I've got this red pepper that's kind of going, and then just a little bit of a red onion. So I'm just gonna chop this up, put it in my air fryer basket. I'm just gonna air fry them, and then I'm gonna put them over my salads. So I'll put them in this bowl and I'll put a little seasoning on them, but just easy. You wanna chop them so they're about the same size. And the peppers make it done before everything else, but they'll be a little bit more air fried. And I'll do it 400 for about 15 minutes. You could do it in your oven, same temperature, probably will just take twice as long. So anything you can do in an air fryer, you can absolutely do in the oven. So as you can see, they're, you know, we're making them pretty much similar size. Just give them a little seasoning with some garlic powder, a little onion powder, and of course a little smoked paprika. These are just my 3 favorites. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that. So whatever veggies you have in the fridge, just use. Throw this in. Sorry, you're gonna hear the air fryer in the background. So this is kind of my go-to salad. Cucumber, tomato, and then I will use spring mix. Today I'm adding a little baby kale just for variety. I like to change up my greens now and then. So I'll put a nice handful of the spring mix, a nice handful of the baby kale, and then I like to use my little scissors here to cut it up. And the reason why I like to do that is it makes it easier to eat and you can fit more in your plate, so you're going to get more greens. So you can see how much it reduces down when you cut it up like that. Oh, you know what I forgot is red onion. I love to put onion in my salads. Onion is really good for you. It is a very good anti-cancer veg. So let me grab that. Well, I don't have any red onions, so I'm going to just use one of my little yellow sweet onions. I'll be adding my 3-2-1 dressing, which I already have made up here. Everyone always asks me for my 3-2-1 dressing recipe, which is will be linked below, but I will tell you right now. I use 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. I have been loving this cranberry pear vinegar by Rocky Mountain Olive Oil Company. I'll leave a link to their website. I'm not an affiliate with them, but I just love their products. So if you want to try some really good vinegars, they have tons of flavors, and I always have been changing up my flavors of my vinegars, and it really changes the taste of your dressings and, you know, gives you some variety. So I'm just going to pour this on here, and then oh, I didn't finish the recipe. So 3 tablespoons of vinegar, and then 2 tablespoons of mustard, and a tablespoon of maple syrup. Shake it up and you're done. So I'll put a lid on here, shake this up, get it nice and tossed, and then when our veggies are done, we'll plate this up. We'll dump some of the veggies on this salad. Now how beautiful is that? You've got a full plate of greens, plus some potatoes, and then some more veggies with the air fried red peppers, zucchini, yum. So this will be my dinner tonight. So here is our salad with all our veggies and potatoes. And this is definitely a back to basic meal, one of my favorites. And if you're still here, comment back to basics in the comments so I know that you're still with me. So let's give this a taste. Really good. I like to mix it up a little bit, and then that way the veggies that were air fried get a little bit of that dressing on them. And I just love the contrast of the cold salad and the warm veggies, and the greens kind of wilt a little bit, but not a lot. And I just love how some of the veggies, I don't know if you can see, but like the red onion got really crispy, and some of the others are just a little bit charred. So I like how it's just all mixed up in here. So really good. So that was what I ate today. 3 meals plus a snack. Back to basics, super easy, all 50-50, whole food, plant-based, no oil, gluten-free. You can't get much better than that. And remember that all my recipes are good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet, and what you put on your plate determines your fate. Until next time, thank you. Ow! Lordy. If you'd like more information about the starch solution and Dr. McDougall, I will leave a link to his book in the recipe. Oh my Lord. Why a plant-based diet is good to you, and